The advice that saved your financial life is the same advice that is quietly destroying your chances of ever getting rich. Think about that. The habits you built to survive, the frugality, the discipline, the spend less than you earn gospel. Those aren't neutral tools, they're rules designed for a specific game. And the moment you level up, the game changes. The physics change. But nobody tells you that. So you keep playing level 3 with level 1 rules, and you wonder why you're not moving. Money has levels. Not income brackets, not tax bands, actual levels, like a video game, where the strategy that wins on level 1 will get you killed on level 3. Today, I'm going to show you all 4 levels, where they start, where they end, the fatal mistake people make at each one, and the exact move you need to make to get to the next stage. Find your level, because until you do, you're fighting the wrong battle with the wrong weapons. Let's go.
Level 1 is the bleeding phase. You know you're here if your month is longer than your money, if you have a rough idea of your credit card balance but you're scared to look at the exact number, if an unexpected $400 expense, a tire, a dentist, anything, would genuinely derail you. That's level 1. And there is no shame in it. Most people were here at some point. A lot of people are here right now. But here is where the first, most devastating mistake happens. People at level 1 try to invest. £50 in crypto, a fractional share of Tesla, a micro-investing app that rounds up their spare change. And I understand the impulse. It feels like you're doing the thing. It feels like progress. It is mathematical suicide. Here's the math. You're paying 25% interest on your credit card balance, maybe 35% on a buy now, pay later scheme, and you're putting £50 a month into an index fund that, on a great year, returns 10%. You are losing 15 percentage points every single month. You are pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom and celebrating that you're pouring faster. The stock market cannot outrun consumer debt interest. Nothing can. At level 1, the single highest returning investment you can make is paying off your debt. It is a guaranteed, risk-free 25% return. Warren Buffett has averaged 20% annually over his entire career. Your credit card is offering you better than that in reverse. Take the trade. So what is the actual move at level 1? Stop the bleeding. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Extreme defense. No investments, no assets, no passive income courses. Your one job, your only job, is to get to exactly 0. Net worth of 0. That is the finish line for level 1. With quiet weight, 0 has never looked so good. Because 0 means the hole is sealed. 0 means you're no longer paying to stand still. 0 is the starting line that most people never actually reach because they're too distracted trying to run before they can walk. Get to 0. Then, and only then, do you change the game.
You've cleared the debt. Positive cash flow. You actually have money left at the end of the month. Welcome to level 2. This is the breathing room phase. And this is where the second fatal mistake destroys people. It's so human, so understandable, so completely rational feeling that almost everyone does it. They spend the breathing room. You've been grinding. You've been saying no to things for months, maybe years. You've watched your friends upgrade their flats, lease new cars, go on holidays they put on cards, and you've been disciplined. You've earned this. So you upgrade the apartment, lease a better car, the wardrobe improves, the restaurants get nicer, because you feel stable now, you feel safe. This is called lifestyle creep, and it is the silent killer of level 2. Because what you've done is buy comfort, and comfort, financially speaking, is a depreciating asset. It feels great. It provides 0 leverage. It gets you no closer to the next level. So, what's the actual move at level 2? You're not buying things. You are buying posture. Psychological posture. Let me give you a specific number, and I want you to remember it. £27,500, or dollars, or whatever your currency is, the principal is identical. That is roughly 6 months of average living expenses in the UK, and that number changes everything. Because when you have 6 months of expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, untouched, you are a completely different person in a negotiation. Your boss can't trap you. A bad client can't hold you hostage. A toxic relationship, professional or personal, loses its power over you because you have the ability to walk away. Not the bravado, not the fantasy, the actual mathematical real-world ability. This is what I mean by walking away money. It's not an emergency fund in the passive defensive sense. It's a weapon. It's leverage over your own life. With posture, you negotiate the salary. You leave the job that's dimming you. You take the calculated risk on the side business. Without it, you accept whatever is offered because you have no choice. Level 2 is not about growing wealth. It's about earning the right to think clearly about money without fear distorting every decision. Build the posture. Then and only then do you step into level 3.
This is where everything breaks. The energy changes, more intense, more precise. Here is where everything breaks.
Every rule you use to get here stops working. And I mean that literally. The habits, the mindset, the strategies, they don't just become less effective at level 3. They actively work against you. Here's the level 3 trap. You've got a safety net. Capital is starting to grow. You're doing better than most. And so your brain, your very logical, very reasonable brain says, work harder, work longer, earn more. If $50,000 a year got me here, maybe $80,000 gets me further. This is linear thinking, and linear thinking is the ceiling of level 3. Your time is finite. There are 168 hours in a week. You cannot work your way to wealth, not real wealth, because your income is capped by the number of hours you can physically produce. At some point, the line goes flat. You hit the wall. Now get precise, almost clinical. At level 3, wealth building becomes a mathematical optimization problem, and the objective function changes entirely. You are no longer trying to maximize hours worked. You are trying to decouple your income from your time. This is the concept of leverage, and there are really only a few ways to access it. Capital leverage. You put money into assets, index funds, equities, property that generate returns whether you are awake or asleep, working or on holiday, healthy or sick. The S&P 500 does not care if you took the day off. Let's talk about compounding, because most people intellectually understand it and viscerally underestimate it. If you invest $500 a month at a 10% average annual return, the long-run average of the S&P 500, in 30 years, you have approximately $1.1 million. You contributed $180,000 of your own money. The remaining $920,000 is the compounding engine doing the work you cannot do with your hands. That engine only runs if you feed it consistently and then leave it alone. Level 1 habits, hoarding cash, avoiding markets, treating your savings account like a trophy, strangle the engine before it can build momentum. This is why the rules break. At level 1 and 2, caution is the strategy. At level 3, excessive caution is the mistake. Holding 80% of your wealth in cash while inflation runs at 3 to 4% is a guaranteed loss in real terms. Sitting on the sideline waiting for the right time to invest is a mathematical error that compounds backwards against you every single year. With real conviction, the move at level 3 is to build the machine, automate the investment, remove your emotions from the process, and then, this is the part people hate, stop trying to be clever. Don't pick stocks, don't time markets. The data is overwhelming and humbling. Low-cost index funds beat the vast majority of active managers over any 20-year period. Boring wins, systematic wins, consistent wins. Level 3 is where the machine gets built. You are no longer the engine. You are the engineer. But you are still maintaining it. You are still needed. Level 4 is something else entirely.
Level 4 is the point at which your capital generates more income in a year than your human body could produce working a full-time job. Let that resettle. Your money earns more than you do without you, regardless of whether you show up. At a 7% average return, a portfolio of £500,000 generates £35,000 a year. That's above UK median salary, without a single hour of labor. At £1 million, you're generating £70,000. At £2 million, £140,000. The flywheel is spinning, and flywheels, by physics, are hardest to start and hardest to stop. The priorities at level 4 shift completely. Again, capital defense becomes the primary objective. You are no longer trying to grow as aggressively as possible, you are trying not to lose. Sequence of returns risk, the danger of a major market crash early in your drawdown period, becomes a real strategic concern. Tax efficiency is no longer a nice-to-have, it's an engineering requirement. The difference between a 40% and 20% effective tax rate on a £2 million portfolio is, over decades, not thousands of pounds, it is millions of pounds. The math is almost offensive. And the final currency of level 4 is something that no financial calculator captures particularly well: time. You buy back your time, not your weekends, not a few extra holidays, your actual, sovereign, irreplaceable human time. Level 1 was about survival. Level 2 was about breathing. Level 3 was about building. Level 4 is about living. The human is no longer the engine. The money is the engine. The human gets to choose.
Here's where I want you to land. Most people fail financially not because they lack discipline or intelligence. They fail because they are applying the right strategy to the wrong level. The person grinding at level 3, using level 1 rules, hoarding cash, avoiding markets, terrified of any risk, is not being smart. They are being trapped by a mental model that served them once and is now holding them hostage. The person at level 2, who inflates their lifestyle the moment they feel safe, is not being irresponsible. They just haven't been told that comfort at this exact stage is the enemy of leverage. So, here is your one task from this video. Identify your level. Honestly, not optimistically, not where you want to be, where you actually are. And then accept the rules of that level. Not the rules you wish applied, not the rules that feel more exciting, the rules that are mathematically correct for your position. Because the game is winnable. The math works. The compounding is real. The flywheel is real. But only if you play the right game. Build the machine. Feed it consistently. Don't touch it when it gets scary. And trust the physics.
If this reframed the way you think about money, even slightly, that's the goal. There's a lot more where this came from. Financial psychology, compounding mechanics, how the wealthy actually think about risk. All of it on this channel. Subscribe if that's what you're here for. And drop in the comments, which level are you at right now? No judgment, just honesty. I read them. See you in the next one.